just think of me as a brand new Scientologist, maybe less than a year in. I've done some auditing. I've completed a few courses. What would you want to tell me? Hey, what would be some of your warnings?
Okay. The first thing I would say to somebody, or the thing that I would like to say about Scientology, is that it is deceptive. You're being taught things that sound and look like they make sense, and that they are universally applicable, that they always apply in all situations, that this works for everybody under any circumstances, like the ARC triangle or the communication formula or the study methodology, the study tech. All of these things are presented to you by L. Ron Hubbard as though they are universal truths and there are no exceptions and there are no other reasons why, for example, in study, somebody abandons study or takes off because they passed some word they didn't understand. And that's just simply not true. It's too simplistic a worldview, and it's too simplistic a set of solutions. It doesn't always work that way. And you're going to find, if you try to use this stuff, that you're going to fall head over heels on this. Like, you're going to make mistakes all the time because it doesn't really work the way that Hubbard says it does.
If I were someone new and I've been in less than a year, how much money have I probably put in at this point? And what is the kind of payment curve as we go forward?
Yeah, initially it starts out pretty small. Probably in the first year, most people invest a couple $1,000 maybe. You know, they start getting into, you do introductory services and you're paying $50, $100 a pop for those. And they take a couple weeks, maybe a month to get through. So theoretically, when you first get in, you could invest less than $1,000 in Scientology in your first year if you're just doing the simple courses. But as we all know, and as anybody who gets involved in Scientology finds out very quickly, the Regs, the salespeople, are very interested in talking to you about your future and about your entire bridge to total freedom. And they want to get their hooks into you right away and form a nice, friendly relationship with you and make out that they're your best friend. But the bottom line is you are a name on a list with a money quota, and they're going to be after you, and that's how that works. So that's how, you'd think on a slow, steady progression, it would take a long time to spend a lot of money, but they work you over almost from day one. And that's one of the biggest red flags with Scientology.
It's not a slow, steady progression, then it's almost exponential. Just maybe kind of feeling you out and seeing how much they could tap into you and how quickly, right?
That's exactly right. That's exactly what they do.
Wow.
And this is not, let's be clear, because the new people and for some the old people too, but for the most part the new people don't see how much planning, how much work is done to figure out what their buttons are, what the salespeople should be saying to them, and who they should bring in to tag, as they call it, on the sales conversation, and they really plan this. I mean, it looks like it's spontaneous. They try to make it look like it's not. But it is. It is all about getting the money from you.
And if I remember right, it was maybe one of your videos. I think I saw it on Aftermath also, but they calculated it up just to get to the OT levels, like a total dollar number average is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars on average, right?
That's right. That's exactly.
Gosh, damn.
Yeah, Leah Remini, for example, paid $2 million on her services for Scientology, and another $3 million, this is according to her own book, in extra donations and money that was given for Scientology's front groups, which say that they are fighting illiteracy, criminality, trying to prevent war and insanity and all that kind of thing. But guess what? There is no transparency. They take that money and they can spend it however they want, and they do. and they don't have to tell you a thing about where they put that money. So it's all, it's all just a big show. It's it's just all smoke and mirrors.
If there were only one religion on earth, it would have a lot more credibility. The fact there are so many and that they are not compatible with each other is evidence that they are all man-made. A theist is going to reply, all religions are man-made except for one, mine. That don't hold water. That's what all followers of every religion say. Other religions are wrong. That's what the followers of every religion say. I feel God in my heart, so I know He is real. I feel the hamburger I just ate in my heart. But the difference is, I know it was real because I ate it and I saw it. You didn't eat your God, did you? That's what followers of every religion say. If you would just stop denying His existence, you would feel His presence. That's what the followers of every religion says. The Bible explains so many things in life, the fact cannot be ignored. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy also explained a lot of stuff about life. Harry Potter explained some things about life. Hell, I've explained some things about life in my videos. Does that make me all-knowing? Am I God? That'd be kind of cool. That's what followers of every religion say about their holy book. Forget it. Believers of other religions have been fooled. Guess what? I don't care what other religions say, okay? That's what the followers of every religion say.
Females can only inherit half of what males receive. That statement is an example of misogyny. If you are a female that goes along with that, you are worth more and should be valued as priceless. Men that promote the idea that females are only worth half of what males can inherit is disrespectful, and they should feel ashamed. This is an indicator that the Quran doesn't teach equality. If this character Allah was all-knowing, most forbearing, then it would have taught a rule of fairness. But no, Allah propagates misogyny instead of splitting inheritances equally. This fictitious character Allah does not respect all people as the same value. This is a reason I don't respect Allah, besides the reason that there are no reasons that convince me that a God had anything to do with the Quran. I see this statement that I'm examining as a way to keep women destitute to poverty, to need a man for his financial stability. This is a display of greed to benefit the male members of Islam. Hatred of women, treating women like second class, the disrespectful, derogatory words directed towards women, to insult, to inflict mental anguish, not valuing women equally in respect financially, mental health, and bodily autonomy wise, is an issue that needs resolution worldwide. Almost no matter what ethnic background, misogyny is a behavior that is likely an occurrence. The idea needs to be argued against, along with shaming those that are disrespectful to women just for being women. Challenging the tradition of these harmful ideas is necessary to correct the unjustifiable abusive doctrine that is passing down these behaviors.
Self-flagellation is a religious ritual that involves hitting yourself repeatedly with a whip, often a cattail made of knotted ropes or chains. Knives and other sharp tools are sometimes used instead. It is practiced by many Christians in order to kill or suppress aspects of their own sinful nature. Muslims practice the ritual also to honor Muhammad's grandson, Hussein ibn Ali, who was beheaded in the Battle of Karbala. By the end of the ceremony, worshippers are often covered from head to toe in their own blood.
The only place that I've ever seen this because I haven't seen like any like Christian movies or anything. There's a show on Netflix called Castlevania, and there's a guy who has like magic powers, and he did that to himself, and he was like super devout.
Yeah, you see that in the Da Vinci Code too.
Oh, that's right, that albino guy.
Yeah, but I think it's just really, really sad. Like it comes from like there being a sense that you are sinful and bad and like worthy of punishment, but it's this like next level that's obviously very toxic on its own, but to have it be like this physical sacrifice is like so much more horrific than what we usually think of it as.
Yeah, I really see it as you're so afraid of this consequence of hell or punishment, and you're just doing everything you can to try and suffer more now in the hopes that you won't suffer later. But I mean, you're being the judge and jury there, and that's really dangerous.
Is the main purpose just so you can relate more to Jesus's the passion, the actual suffering that he went through, or to get you closer to him?
I could see that as being a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to ask somebody that is familiar with that, because the other idea is a penance, like a punishment of your sinful nature. And it seems to me like a more extreme version of like this self-deprecation that's like, we are not worthy of anything and we are awful sinners and deserving of this kind of self-punishment. It
could even be like training yourself to, not have certain thoughts or certain feelings, like, I don't know, it's really freaky. It's
a lot of guilt.
Dirt is the primary food source of snakes. Now, once again, you have to look at this verse and say to yourself, who wrote this? Is it God inspiring man to write this? Is it God writing it? What? If it's a God writing it, then he's a jackass. Because, anybody with common sense, it's men writing it back in the day that was just best trying to describe what they thought happened to snakes, how they eat. But then again, you have to ask yourself, did God tell this person to write this? And common sense would let anybody know, no, he's just writing shit to make it sound good.
Attending college is discouraged. No Jehovah's Witness should want to go to college. Rather, work in the Watchtower organization. Pay attention to yourselves and all of the flock. Do not pursue higher education. There is very little time left. What about professional careers? This position has not changed. If you're a younger person thinking about a career, forget about it. The end will be in a few years. Foolish, educated people such as doctors and lawyers are usually inconsiderate of others.
That's pretty bang on. Like, for the most part, you're sort of informally discouraged through the use of scripture and the encouragement to instead put your time into the ministry and back into the community that way, so to speak. I'm not so sure about the lawyers being included there, because I do know that the Watchtower has a lot of well-paid lawyers on their team, and doctors as well, to be honest. They've not a huge array of them or anything, but they do like to have a few doctors to help them in critical moments at hospitals when some poor sucker could get better treatment and instead they get their doctor. But anyway, it's the concept there is absolutely right, though.
Yeah, it's their ability to be incredibly hypocritical. They have lots of doctors and lawyers on their payroll, but also it's a way to stop people from being able to develop their critical thinking skills as well. They don't like it when people think for themselves. It's a way to stop people from spending more time as they can outside of the Jehovah's Witness cult. And the more time that they spend devoting themselves to this cult, the more they encourage people, more likely these people are not going to think about leaving the cult. So it's just a way for control and educated people are harder to control, which is why there's this ongoing demonization in general of higher education by certain groups of people, such as Jehovah's Witnesses, evangelical Christians, that sort of stuff.
Joseph Smith ran for president. What's more, it was the first U.S. presidential campaign in which the candidate was assassinated. This mayor of Nauvoo, Illinois, who claimed to have extended conversations with both God and Jesus, sought the presidency in order to legalize polygamy and throw the secular constitution in the garbage by establishing a totalitarian theocracy. More firsts. He was the first Mormon to run for president, so Mitt Romney was not. He was one of the first prominent third-party presidential candidates ever, and he was the first candidate to be arrested during his campaign.
You know, the fact of the matter is, the first thing that comes to mind is he was assassinated not because of his political views, but because he was a pussy hound. That's where this whole polygamy thing came from. Joe likes strange. And so this was his way of saying it's okay.
And he was killed by members of his own cult, not some outsiders.
I thought he was in jail when they overran and took him out. The other takeaway from this is the magic underwear doesn't work all that well.
He was shot in the back once or maybe twice, but he wasn't in jail. Well, he was in a jail, but I think he was let out to try to escape with his life, and he got shot in the back as he was jumping out of the second story window. So he died from the gunshot and the fall. Yeah. I could be wrong about that. Correct me in the comments. Yeah. Can you guys hear the talking in the other room? No? Not a bit? Okay, good.
I'm just gonna kill my cat real quick.